At the Davos summit, you have a bunch of billionaires getting together, making themselves feel better about the current economic havoc that they're wreaking across the country. But there's some good spots. We're gonna try to highlight a few this week. The first is Dutch historian Rutger Bregman, who brought up, I think, very succinctly, very accurately, what should be talked about. Here he is.
I hear people talk in the language of participation and justice and equality and transparency. But then, I mean, almost no one raises the real issue of tax avoidance, right? And of the rich just not paying their fair share. I mean, it feels like I'm at a firefighters conference and no one's allowed to speak about water, right? there was only one panel, actually.
Well, we've had two. You're the second of our panelists.
There was only one panel.
Let's go there.
One panel hidden away in the media center that was actually about tax avoidance. Yeah. I was one of the 15 participants. So something needs to change here.
So Rutger did a great job at the only time he's going to be allowed to appear in Davos. He's probably not going to be invited back, but we'll have a little bit more. But how did you
also say, I mean, look at that guy and his accent. It just sounds so un-American. I'm not lying to you. This sounds like
he's Dutch.
No way. That's exactly. They're gonna say, oh yeah, that weird European accent guy. He has nothing to do with America. What a backwards way of thinking. It's just the way we approach things. That's why we have the superiority complex as Americans and say we're the best at all this, but we're not. And then we hear someone with a different accent. We say, oh yeah, of course that guy's loony. You hear that accent? It's such a base approach to things. So no, he's not going to be able to convince anyone. At least not no one from our point of view.
I find it convincing. Here's a little bit more of what he said.
10 years ago, the World Economic Forum asked the question, what must industry do to prevent a broad social backlash? The answer is very simple. Just stop talking about philanthropy and start talking about taxes. Taxes. We need to, I mean, just 2 days ago, there was a billionaire in here, what's his name? Michael Dell. And he asked the question like, name me one country where a top marginal tax rate of 70% has actually worked. And you know, I'm a historian. The United States, that's where it has actually worked. In the 1950s, during Republican President Eisenhower, you know, the war veteran, the top marginal tax rate in the US was 91% for people like Michael Dell. You know, the top estate tax for people like Michael Dell was more than 70%. I mean, this is not rocket science.
That is amazing. It's much of what we and others have been saying here, but to hear it there at the actual forum, that is what needs to happen. So great job there by Rutger Bregman. There were a few other people on the panel that raised some good points. We will highlight them a little bit later on, but this is what needs to happen. This is a conversation that needs to happen. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.